Good morning, everyone. It is April 5th. It is currently 1 a.m. and we have a nice pitch black night out here today. So as you'll remember, just yesterday we made a strike on Russia's FOB base. We were able to hurt their air defense quite a bit. I would say we took down about half their total SAM sites at their FOB. So today, as you can see, we are armed with 8 GBU-38 JDAMs. Those are the GPS bombs. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna drop these bombs and destroy the rest of their air defense. So we can start up here. Coming up.
Roll left. Flight control.
Okay, yeah, so we did make a good strike. The most important thing is that we took down their early warning radar system. So as we go in tonight, they shouldn't even see us coming. However, their current SAM sites have their short-range radars still operational. So our game plan tonight is we are going to go in low and fast, maybe a couple hundred feet off the back. So it should be an exciting time. Airplanes are spinning up. We're going to reset our FCS here. Take off trim. And we still have a bit of a heavy load, so we're going to do stab up to 17 again. 4 rifle bits. Our INS alignment under stored heading. Shut down our APU. Because it's so dark out, we are going to use our position and formation lights. You should see those right there. So I love this switch. So you can turn it to night mode, which turns your fuel and engine info green. So yeah, that turns that green. So what we're going to do is do NVG mode, which even turns our floodlights green. And I love the vibe of that. So we're going to do that. Alright, HSI over here. So because we have GPS bombs, we're going to need to start the alignment on those as well. And that's working. Dispenser. So we got to set our dispenser settings. Turn this to night mode. Flaps to half, can't forget that. Alright, so now we're going to do our IFF and data link. Zoom up a little funky. Man, that's lined quick today. Don't want to do auto, and I'll explain that in a minute. So we're going to do target of opportunity on all 4 stations. Alright, so we got no GPS data in there, so we're going to go waypoint 1, waypoint designate. There we go. Alright, cool. We are looking good there. Everything is set up. Stick back. Standby. Alright, let's make sure we got night vision equipped. That's going to be important for this mission. And we do. Let's change that game. And we can do that as we're going through here. I-5 data link. I think we're looking good, boys. So nose boost steering to high. Let's give him the good old salute. Let's get this show on the road. I do know that our canopy is open right now. So we're not worried about that, just kind of want to take in the environment, you know. So once we get up to our catapult, I'm going to start closing the canopy. Let's get a good line up this time. There we go. Wings unfolded, canopy closed. Extend our launch bar. He's going to have us move forward, lock into place on the catapult. Another thing I'm going to do before I forget is I'm going to turn the AOA off. Not that. There we go. And I do that because I'm going to be landing with night vision mode, and I don't need this display flashing in my face. Alright, boys, let's do this.
Airborne.
We're up, flaps up. Away we go. And we're actually moving away from the objective. We have a different lineup than we did yesterday, so that kind of caught me off guard. RPMs are a little high. I'm going to pull back a little bit. There we go, about 95. That's where I like to be. We're going to keep the lights on for a little bit, just so the carrier can see that we're not taking up their airspace.
Passing 2.5 kilo. 495, cleared to switch.
Alright, we're cleared to switch, so we're going to shut off our lights, and we're going to go to our AWACS channel, which should be channel 2. We actually have 2 AWACS today. Alright, so let's get our goggles on. Look at that great black abyss. 3,000 feet is even a little bit higher than I'd like to be, so we're going to go down a little bit. Going Mach 0.74, which is a decent speed. And like I said, today we're going to be going in underneath their search radar for their SAM sites, so we're going to be going low and fast. I would expect to be, if not Mach 1, very close to Mach 1, as we're a few hundred feet from the deck. Exciting time today. Now you'll notice, because I have night vision, I don't have my HMD display, so we're doing this the old-fashioned way tonight. This time, I know I said I don't normally do the radar altimeter, but because we're so low today, we're going to turn that on. And it's not going to stay on the whole time because, like I said previously, it will change your altitude if you start moving, but not very well. Okay, so we're going to do IR cool just in case we run into any interceptors. Go to arm, air to ground, turn off the ground-based radar, go back to our HSI. We're going to do E-Fuse instant. Line quality's good. Ready and standby. We're looking good. We still got some gas in the fuel tank down there. And we see the mainland coming up now. So I'm actually going to turn our gain up a little bit. Yeah, you can see how much that helps. This is why it's so important to have this NVG mode, because if you just had the floodlights, oh my goodness, look at that. But NVGs, night and day, quite literally. And as you guys will remember, when we were flying with the JSOWs, we were going up to 30,000 feet, so we had quite a large max range ring we could work with. But because we're going to be going so low to the deck, our ring is going to stay tiny, tiny until we get, I want to say within 4 miles of target. Then we're going to start climbing rapidly. I want to say to about 30 degrees ascending. So once we hit that and we're at a good altitude, we're going to toss our bombs. And we are limited by the fact that these stations have 2 bombs per station. And the reason for that, let's take off our NVGs for a second. The reason for that is when you go into display JDM in mission, we have to manually choose between target 1 and target 2, which on its own isn't that's not too bad, but when we have to do that 4 times in a row while we're being locked by SAMs, doing it all at once isn't very smart. So we're gonna climb, drop 4 bombs, we're gonna hit the deck again, we're gonna fly a little evasively, and then we're gonna come and drop our last 4. So we'll reach max range in about 10 minutes, probably gonna be a little less. It is really cool flying at night, though. You can see the city streets. Let's put our goggles back on. Can't see us, but we can absolutely see them. Yeah, America has we've got a lot of tools at our disposal. I would hate to be going up against the U.S. forces. I mean, I can't vouch for Russia's current armament because everything they have is very under wraps, but I'm not aware of any GPS bombs they have. I know as far as DCS is concerned, their most advanced bomb that they can drop is a TV guided bomb, which was cutting edge in the 1980s. But I'm sure they figured out GPS bombs by now. I mean, they had to, right? It's just unfortunately in DCS we're stuck with 80s era aircraft and weapons on the Russian side because they won't reveal any kind of secret, which, you know, I get it. Really cool flying over cities at night. And you see how we're actually climbing right now, and that's our radar altimeter hold at work, so it's very gradual. I think it'll only climb by like a couple degrees at a time. So I know from looking at our maps, there's a mountain range straight ahead of us that separates the front line from the Russian forward operating base. So when I get those mountains in sight, we're going to go full burner. And I see our tank is actually dry now, so I'm not going to drop it directly over the city for obvious reasons. I do see over here we got a bit of a clearance, so I'll drop our tank over there, and then we'll go full AB and send them another surprise. We got Mach 0.81, this is a good speed, 95% RPM, so we're doing pretty good right now. Oh, you see that laser right there? That's actually, I think that's the JTAC shining a laser for a airstrike, which is not our role we're going to be playing today. To tell you the truth, I have a real hard time doing close air support because they'll call out coordinates to hit, but the problem is they do a different format of coordinates compared to what we put in our computer, so you kind of have to translate from one to the other on the fly, and it's a work in progress. We're getting close, 5.5 minutes. We'll make sure our weapons are good. I'd rather check 4 times and have it be right than check once and have it be wrong. Close, so I'm gonna go full AB here. We're gonna drop some altitude. And I'm gonna preemptively, so that's our home fuel warning. That's basically saying we're burning too much gas, but we're gonna ignore that. And I'm going to get ready to drop this tank as soon as we're over this neighborhood. And the nice thing is, once we take down these air defenses, landing at the HOTAS airport won't be a problem at all. So if we don't have the gas to make it back to the carrier, which we might not, we're going to find out. Alright, so we're over the wilderness, so we're going to drop the tank. Center selector. We're getting close to the ground. I'm going to turn our gain up. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, the F-18C still does night vision the old-fashioned way. When you do the Strike Eagle, it's got an actual, I don't know the term for it. I know in the cockpit you turn on nav FLIR, which instead of having to wear night vision goggles, it illuminates your HUD in front of you, like what you're looking at here, and you can see the terrain just perfectly. I miss that aircraft. We're gonna go down a little bit. Because the thing about the frontline troops is they can carry Stinger missiles, which are basically radar-guided, shoulder-fired missiles, and that will ruin your day. We're guzzling up the gas. I think we're going to do a HOTAS divert today, which is A-OK. Probably just take off from there tomorrow/today, depending on how long this takes for our next mission. But one mission at a time. See, it's actually an infrared laser. Being locked yet, but we are a little bit closer to those frontline troops than I want to be. Hopefully being this close to the ground is going to help mask our radar signature. And that's Betty you're hearing, giving us a heads up. Doing good.
Pull up, pull up.
Oh, you're good, Betty. Minute and a half to max range. Zoom in our HSI. So you see how small that max range is. So again, once we hit about 4 miles, we're going to do a steep climb up to about 30 degrees, and we're going to toss these bombs. And the minute these bombs are away, we are going to drop back down to the deck again and fly away. So we're sucking up a lot of gas. Which is okay, because we're going full EBN. Once these air defenses are down, we can cut the burners and cruise on home. Okay, so we're coming up. 14 miles. $50. Should be right over this mountain. Alright, 5,000 pounds of gas, we'll be okay. We're right at that target area now. Girl. 25 seconds. She's dropping fast. Alright, 6 miles. Alright, get ready, get ready. 5 miles. We're gonna pop up now. Drop down.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, so we're gonna drop that. We're gonna come back in from the east to west. We're gonna drop this last bomb, and then we'll hit our other 2 sites. Home fuel again. Thank you so much for that heads up. So we did have good effect on target there. You can see on our SA display, we are well within their threat range, but we're keeping it nice and low. So I want to get about 6 miles, maybe to about 7. So we're gonna go full burner, turn hard. Okay, you see that max range ring? We're going to get close, and we're going to pop up again. Climb up. Drop 1. Okay, we should be okay. Fall back down.
Altitude.
Beautiful.
Altitude.
That might have been one that cooked off, though. I don't think that's... Oh, we're getting close. I don't think that's from the bomb we just dropped. Alright, okay. We're doing good. We're doing good. So let's go into display JDAM. Mission. We're going to change to target 2. Alright, so you can see that move to our other point on the HSI. We're about 9 miles away, so we can start turning in. Alright, so you can see that that vehicle probably moved after we dropped the first bombs, which, you know, of course you're going to do that. So hopefully it cooks off while we're still flying here, so we'll turn a little harder. There it is, bam. So we'll turn, we're gonna come straight in. We're gonna go full burner. 3,000 pounds. We're definitely not making it back to the carrier, but that's okay. I'm gonna get lower than this. 9 miles, going on 8. I'm going to be a couple hundred feet off the ground. Six miles. 5, we're going to climb. Pulling back on burner. I'm going to bring it down to 90%. Doing okay. I'm going to change our TACAN to HOTAS. Remember, it's 44X. Turn the TACAN on. Now, the thing with TACAN is, they're cooking off. You need a direct line of sight to receive the TACAN information. We're still in SAM range, so just in case, we're going to stay low for now. But once we get over this hill, we should be okay to climb up a bit. And then once we climb up, oh, there's a front line. We want to steer away from that. Once we get direct line of sight, we'll get that TACAN connection. And we'll know right where to go. You can see this wheel spinning. Oh, we got a good line of sight. So we're going to set our destination to TACAN. We can see we're 40 miles away. I want to say the frequency was 134. 134. So we're going to get our altitude here.
4-3, Overlord, 8-1, 342, 440 at 20,000 knots.
And we're gonna let them know we are inbound. 1,700 pounds, so definitely go dial it back a bit. Mach 7 is a good speed. Zoom out our HOTAS. Okay, that's not bad. And just from experience, I know HOTAS is right next to a bend in the lake. It's almost like a U, or a river, so it's almost like a U shape, so we'll know what to look for. Yeah, we got some stuff going on down there. They're still cooking off. That's hilarious. Those guys are not having a good day. Shouldn't have messed with your neighbor, man. Okay, so you see how fast we dropped our Mach. That's because our RPMs are at about 81, 82%. And our fuel consumption is looking better. 1,600 pounds. Yeah, we'll make it. And if you're ever not sure if you're going to make it to your destination, what you can do is you go to your support and FPAS. I forget what it stands for, but basically it tells you how much fuel you're going to have when you get to your point. So we'll have 1,000 pounds, give or take. So that's plenty of gas to land on the runway. Oh, really? We got some fighters. And of course, I don't have the gas for this. Oh, he's close. I don't like that. Oh, we're being locked. We're going burner. What is that? 19? missing? She's right there. I'm not a fan of that. We just straight up don't have the gas. 600 pounds? We need to set this bird down. I'm gonna set this down, I'm gonna rearm, and we're gonna see if we can take the fight to them. Our actual flights for the airport. I don't like doing it with an enemy right there, but the airport needs to see us coming. So this is our bend around the river. You can see TACAN is leading us to the airport right there. I'm gonna dial way back on our throttle. This isn't where I want to be fuel-wise, but we do what we got to do. We're going plenty fast enough, so I'm going to bring it all the way to idle, because that's actually where we're going to land right there. Yeah, that's it right there. I don't remember what runway they want us to head to, so we'll do it live. Altitude a bit, speed's falling nicely. Yep, that's it. I can see the hangars. Kutasi has the signature Soviet type hangar where it's covered in dirt and grass, so it blends right in. 280. Drop some more speed. Put the speed brake up a little bit.
Forward 3, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Tower, I need to know which runway.
Forward 3, request landing.
There we go. That bled plenty of speed. So we're gonna do flaps down to full. Gear down. Probably should have waited with gear, but just because we're so low on gas, and you have to give it power because you drop like a rock, as you're seeing here. And I want to hit the runway about 170, 180 is what I aim for. Don't know if that's correct or not, but I'm looking at our gas. It's going to be close. I have set it down and run out of gas on the runway before, coming to a stop, and all of a sudden everything shuts off. Oh yeah, we're going way slower than I'd like. And this is why I shut the AOA off, because otherwise there'd be a giant light flashing in my face. Flaps down, gear down. And you can see we're practically floating in the air, which is not what I want to be doing right now. 200 pounds of gas is going to be close. And I don't like going so slow because we're at the mercy of the wind, as you're seeing here. Okay. Alright, this is going to be a tough landing. I hope we don't break our gear. 200 pounds of gas, I need to give it a little something. Alright, come on, lower that nose. Come on, come on. There we go, there we go. We'll raise our nose a bit, kill some of our speed. Ooh, that's a tough one. Landed with 140 pounds of gas. That's about as close as it gets. Alright, so because we're not on a carrier, I'm going to turn on our anti-skid. So when we turn our brakes, we don't spin in a circle. Looks like those fighters are gone now. Our gear still looks good. If our gear collapsed, those lights down in the lower left, I'll highlight that in a second. Alright, slowing down. Speed brake down.
4-3. Taxi to parking area.
And we're just going to go off to the side here. Not standard protocol, but that's okay. Alright, so let's fold our wings. Let's talk to our ground crew. We need gas. We're going to change our loadout, excuse me. I think escort is what I want. No. Fighter sweep, there we go, because I want as many missiles as I can hold. Chaff, you see we went through a lot of chaff because we were being locked by radar.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Request refueling with 100 pounds of gas left. Holy cow. That was pretty close, guys. Oh my goodness. Let's turn now we can turn our taxi light on. Alright, see our gas is going up. Holy cow, that had me nervous. I didn't even put safe mode on. We could have just straight up hit the ground and blown up. So let's put our parking brake on. Oh my goodness, you can see how flustered I was. We made it though, that's what matters. Okay, so yeah, those fighters that were over here, they're gone now, so they might have been shot down. Our AWACS might not see them. They could have shot down our fighters. I don't really know what happened. I was just trying to get out of there, honestly. Oh man, that was crazy. Taxi light off. Nose go high. We'll just get ready to get moving right away when they're done. I was spoiled yesterday, man. Got in, dropped our bombs, was home free, no fighters. They were not happy with us coming in again today. I could be wrong, but it looks like it was a number 19 on RWR, which I think is an early version of MiG, which would surprise me. Because you figured they'd send out Sukhoi 2733, something like that. Maybe that's all they had close by, honestly. Let's see how our gas is doing. Alright, so filled up tank is just over 10,000 pounds, so we're getting there. So they're going to fill up our tank first, they're going to put another fuel tank on our center line, and then they're going to mount the missiles on our wings. You can see here these AC, these two missiles are attached to the just the left and right of our center line where the tank goes, and those are A-18C AMRAAMs, which are they're technically medium-range air-to-air missiles. It's actually what AMRAAM stands for, Active Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile. And that is the bread and butter of the U.S. forces, basically. You know, on paper, you can go shoot at someone over 40 miles out, but, you know, like I was explaining yesterday, that's when you're going 30,000 feet at Mach 1, which you're not always going to be doing. If you're just over the ground, your range is going to drop dramatically, maybe 10 to 20, 30 miles, something like that. 30 is pushing it, honestly. So what I'm thinking we're gonna do is when we get our fighter sweep going, we're gonna these are where the mountains where we were looking at yesterday. So we're gonna stay on this edge of the mountain range, and we got a pretty decent radar on here. It can go up to 160 miles out. So we'll see what we see. In fact, I think we need to put that. Okay, it's on standby. Good. I don't want that active on the runway and end up frying our ground crew with radar waves. But you can see why I wanted to wait as long as possible to go full afterburner in the F-18, going low like that, because it just guzzles gas. And you gotta make sure you have enough to get back. Alright, got fuel. So we should start seeing missiles pop up on our wings.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, my dog is over here trying to get some pets. There we go. So those are our AMRAAM missiles. Alright, we should be about ready.
Rearming complete.
Excellent, thank you, boys. Alright, so you heard the computer call out, or you heard Betty call out flight control, so we got to reset our FCS. We're going to go takeoff trim. Now, because we're not taking off from a carrier, I'm not going to up our stab to 17, because we got plenty of room on this runway to take off. So, screw it, we'll take off with night vision. Alright, so parking brake off, nose wheel high. The reason why we do nose wheel high is so we can turn on a dime like that, and as you probably guessed, that's because we're a carrier-based aircraft, so you gotta be able to make those tight turns on deck. Alright, maybe we won't take off with night vision. Alright, unfold our wings. The reason we're getting that home fuel warning is because it still thinks we're heading back to the carrier, which we might. Depends on how we do. Oh, you see we got a fighter over there. So what we're going to do is do our radar to operational. Arm, air to air.
4-3, Overlord, 8-1, Bra, 030, Fort 110, at 15,000 knots.
Our sidewinders looking up there for some reason. So we're going to put our NVGs back on. Okay, so you see how we got the red symbol there? That's because Data Link has it, so that could be an AWACS or another fighter sees it. It sends it to us, but our radar doesn't see it. Probably because he's over a mountain or something. Nope, and he's gone.
4-3, Overlord, 8-1, pop-up group, 016, 480, at 9,000 knots.
They're 80 miles away, so they're definitely behind their lines. Okay, it must be this guy. And he called out pop-up groups, so that tells me there's more than one flying over there. Probably 4 in formation, if I was to guess. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of gas here. Or a little bit of power, I should say. And this is that mountain range we want to stay behind, so he's about 80 miles off. Yeah, so We'll get some altitude. We're not going to chase them over the mountains. We don't want to get shot down after that close call we just had with running out of gas. We're going to let them come to us, basically. But I want to get a lot of altitude.
4-3, Overlord, 8-1, Bra, 010, 470.
Okay, it's this guy again. I want to get altitude. I like to be up around 30,000 feet. It's a bit of a challenge with the Hornet because it's got those weak engines. Whereas you get something like the Tomcat, you can have your, yep, see there's more of them. You can have your engine set to almost idle and hold Mach 1 at 30,000 feet, no problem. I think they might be coming to us. As you can see here, yeah, they're headed straight for us, but they're within range of a SAM right now. I will, however, zoom in. And I'm going to take us to TWS. TWS is track while search, and this allows you to track multiple targets. Alright, so you see how... Yeah, we got about 3 of them. Let's get some full AB here. So there's a lot going on the HUD here. I'll see if I can explain what I can here. So we'll start with the radar. So you see this line here with the 2 bars? That's our max and minimum abort range for our missile. So the top line is our max range. You can see how it's getting bigger and bigger because we're climbing, gaining speed. We're on the edge of the sand though, which I do not like. So we're gonna... That's kind of pilot's choice here. And I can see they're actually turning away, so they're probably doing a bar cab mission, which is basically an air patrol, combat air patrol. Oh, that is a lot! Whoa! Oh, we're actually at 30,000 feet already. These mountains are just super tall. I'm not going to go in that SAM threat ring though. So yeah, you can see they're pretty far out of our missile range right now. I mean, we're going Mach 0.8 at 30,000 feet. I hate the idea of not engaging. Having to fight that Maverick instinct. And I can see our tanks are dry. We do still have some houses under us, so we're going to hang on to their tank for now.
Overlord, 8-1, Bra, 010, 445 at 22,000.
Alright, so you see that diamond right there. Our radar has determined that that is indeed a hostile. You can see our ring here. This line is how our range, and once it hits this, let me see if I can move her back there. Once it hits this bottom arrow, we're in max range for our missile. Oh, look at them there. They're just begging to get shot down. Oh, there's so many. We're actually within the threat ring of the SAM. No radar warning yet. Speed is Mach 0.89, 30,000 feet. I'm going to keep holding on the outside edge here. We're kind of daring each other to move in on each other, so we'll see who breaks first, basically. Looks like we're over the mountains now, so we're going to drop our tank. Free up that weight in case we got to go ball to the wall, you know. And we have a good gimbal range on our radar, and the gimbal range is left to right here, so they're on the right part of our gimbal. In fact, they're almost at our gimbal limit. What you like to do with your gimbal is when you have a missile out, you want to keep them at the gimbal limit so you can notch away from any missiles that might be coming at you. I'm gonna up our radar range. Our scan radius, I should say. So you want to fire a missile, get them to the gimbal limit, and drop altitude, so if they do shoot a missile, it has to waste gas trying to intercept you moving away from it and going down into denser air. We are well within this SAM set. I don't like that. This guy's just about in range. We're gonna launch a missile. He's just about close enough. 30,000 feet, Mach 0.97. I'm liking this. Okay, so you see how our max range is actually dramatically shorter because he's flying away from us. So we are not going to launch that missile because we would have to chase him all the way into that SAM range. And you can see how far into these mountains we are. I don't want to be here. Because I went out of burner, I did a hard turn, we lost a lot of airspeed. Don't want to be high and fast over a SAM. Or high and slow, I should say. So we're going to some fuel and get out of here. It's actually pretty close to me. I might have baited them out, but we're gonna find out. RWR shows it's not showing them. So that could mean that they don't have their radar on, which would be good for us because that means they're not gonna track us. Yeah, those BBs, I think those are search radars. Kind of early warning like we took out over there, but they have them around this mountain range because obviously they want to see if we're coming at them. And you can see just how far in this SAM ring we are, so I want to get out of here. And it's possible it's within one of these valleys, which is why I can't see us. Got 9,000 pounds of gas. I'm just going full AB to get out of range of this SAM. Yeah, that's the way fighter sweeps go, though. Sometimes it's a bit of posturing. You're not always going to have that big action fight. Okay, so I'm going to take us back into RWS so it can do a full range sweep. I mean, there's not going to be anything in front of us because that's back towards our lines, but see we only have one on data link right now. I'm willing to bet that's because they're dropping altitude behind the mountains so our AWACS can't see them. Alright, we're getting a good distance. I'm going to pull out of afterburner, bring us down to about 95% power. Yeah, that was a fine example of what you don't want to do. Flying in range of a SAM to try and get these guys to chase you. And all these circles, just like the data link, these are our friendly guys. I think if you have TWS on, it'll try locking friendlies. Okay, so just if it doesn't know if it's a friendly. RWS, full range sweep. Got nothing on data links, so those guys did not take the bait, which is okay. Just means we're gonna go home safe. We still have some gas. We got 8,000 pounds, so I want to keep an eye on this area in case they try making a push. Oh yeah, they're coming back up again. So yeah, I think they're just doing a combat air patrol cap mission, so they're just trying to make sure we don't encroach on their air defense. They might be a little upset that we just knocked out their SAM defense and they're forward operating base. So the good news is, now that we've essentially taken out all of the SAMs protecting that FOB, what we can start doing next, not today, but probably tomorrow when we start flying again, is we can start taking out some of their actual ground units. Pretty sure they have some mobile armor over there. And it really is kind of dealer's choice when dealing with armor, because when they're in the FOB like that, they're usually stationary until you start dropping bombs. So we can go in with JDAMs, it just means we can't drop all 8, because chances are they're gonna miss. Alternatively, you can drop laser-guided bombs, which can track moving targets, but the downside with that is you can only drop 1 at a time. So I'm still thinking about it, I'm mulling it over, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. Downtime. So 8,000 pounds of fuel, we're looking good. We're gonna go parallel with these mountains. Dropped a little bit of speed there.
Fort 3, Overlord, 81, Bra, 022, 460 at 22,000 knots.
We're dropping so much altitude because when you bank, your aircraft naturally wants to go downwards. They just do not want the smoke, man. Got all geared up and they don't want to party. But they're real brave when you're flying away from them now. So I got them on radar off to the right here. But I bet my bottom dollar they're just going to go back in towards their line again. But if they don't, I'll be the first one to know. So I'm going to go back to TWS again. Over here. And the very nice thing about TWS on the F-18 is it automatically locks any hostile targets that are in your range. The downside is it'll do that for friendlies too if it still hasn't done an I-5 check.
Bra, 026, 450 at 22,000 knots.
Is this going to be it? Yeah, if we had the HMD, we could actually look out here and just see exactly where they are in the sky. Well, we're kind of on an intercept course, so if they keep coming this way, they're going to be in for AMRAAM surprise. Let's turn here a little bit. We're lowering the altitude of our radar so it looks a little bit lower in the sky. Let's see, now we got a good track on them. We're at Mach 0.8, 26,000 feet. These are pretty good parameters. Has a big cluster of them though. Let's raise our altitude. Search altitude. There we go. I think they might be making a push. Let's Let's rock and roll, boys.
43, Overlord, 81, Bra, 111, for 140 at 25,000 knots.
Let's party. So we're gonna turn in here. Oh yeah, look at them. We want to toss these missiles up. Good altitude. And I'm staying aware of any RWR track, but we're looking good so far. Alright, we're going to fling this one. Swapping between targets here. Another one. And a lot of those have already acquired their targets because we're so dang close. Sukhoi 34, so those are bombers. Ooh, they're escorted by 24s, okay. In here. Oh, you see this guy? This guy's getting close. I like how close this guy is. Fling one right at him. Got a fine how do you do. Right underneath us.
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, merged.
Here I thought we wouldn't have any fun. Let's see anyone there. There. Where you at, boy?
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, Bra, 27348 at 21,000.
He's above us.
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, Bra, 26747 at 18,000 gold.
Alright, so we're probably going to burn through all our fuel again, so I imagine we're going to be going back to Kutasi once more. Alright, there we go. What's his altitude? 22,000 feet. He's way over us. Target track because it's just right here. So we're going to aim up at 20,000 feet.
At 19,000 knots.
So it's at 22. We're going to go a little bit higher.
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, Bra, 33342 at 22,000 gold.
Come on, bro.
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, Bra, 20346.
Just cannot catch this guy on radar.
Ford 3, Overlord, 81, merged.
It's hard to tell with the stars. So we're going to get some altitude. We're going to circle around, see if we can find this guy. That's where the HMD would come in clutch. Full range sweep. Throw a lot of our missiles out too. You can see we're coming up on them. Should be right behind these guys. There we go, we got a lock. Friend. Oh, it's locked all the way up there. I want this guy. There we go. Keeps locking my friend. See, there we go. So he's flying away from us, which really hurts our range. So we're gonna climb, keep gaining speed. There we go. Got a good lock on him. So that's the nice thing about RWS. It focuses all your radar on this one target, so it keeps a good track on him. We're slowly closing this distance. You can see we're only 10 miles away from him, and our range is so reduced just because he's flying away from us. And that's why going cold against a missile is a really good strategy, because it kills the maximum range. Oh, this guy's done. He's freaking done. Give me that shoot cue. Missile out. And that's active right off the rail, so we can track our next guy. Let's see, we got a good lock on him. So we're gonna come over here. I think that's actually the guy we were already locked on. Missile might have missed.
Fork 3, Overlord, A1, merged.
Oh, here we go. I see some. We're gonna bore sight.
Fork 3, Overlord, A1, merged.
I see another guy here. Bore sight. Missile.
Fork 3, Overlord,
Done.
A1, Bra,
Good night.
13, Fork 2, at 18,000 knots.
2 mile AMRAM. This dude's so dead. There we go. I think I see another target. Could be a star. We're gonna find out. Yep, that's just a star. Alright, so I see more guys on radar. These are the 2 we just shot down. Actually, that might be a parachute, but we're gonna find out. Do a nice hard burn. This is it. Alright, so we got tone on our Fox 2 in range. Good night.
Fork 3, Overlord, A1, Bra, 104, Fork 150, at 25,000
I think that's the guy we just shot down right there. Let's see what No, he's holding steady. This is the guy. Sure as shoot. He's at 18,000, so he's a little bit higher than us. You can see just how handy the bore sight lock is. You just point your nose and lock onto him. Okay, that must have been that guy, because he's off radar now. We're doing okay on fuel, 3,000. We're near Kutasi. I want to see if we can get this last guy.
at 12,000 knots.
Go get a good block.
Fork 3, Overlord, A1, Bra,
Okay, I'm running with your name on it,
134,
brother.
at 28,000 knots.
Go give me a good block. Full burner, give it a good fighting chance. And I want to go into that. That's looking okay. We're going to fire. I think that's our last AMRAM. We have 1 Sidewinder left. 10 seconds to target. That dude should get smoked. Bam. Good night. Thanks for playing. Let's see if Data Link has anything for us. We got another guy off here. I have one Sidewinder. I'd like to use it. It's a little far. Our fuel is... We got 3,000 pounds. I think we can do it. He's not totally going away from us. What is that? 300 feet? Is that what I'm seeing? Chasing a friendly, so he might come towards us. And if we hit 2,000 pounds, I'm going to abort and we're going to go land. This guy's running away. What else we got here? Alright, we're getting a little low. Get some burner, get some altitude. Alright, this guy's not running away per se. Give me lock, give me lock. Oh, he's running away. Everyone's running away from us, you see that? He's climbing hard too. To see him. Yeah, we got a good block. I'm going to take that to a single target, or to RWS. Alright. So you see that arrow with the line facing left on our circle on the HUD? That is his nose direction. So he is... Is perpendicular the word? He's almost moving away from us. I don't think we're going to catch up to this guy. Like you see, that's our max range. So I think this guy's going to get away. Yeah, he's turning cold. Yeah. Alright, yeah, we're just under 2,000 pounds. TACAN is on. We have one Sidewinder. We're going to pull up our HSI and head back to HOTAS. 40 miles away? No, that's waypoint 9. TACAN. HOTAS. Yeah, 40 miles away. That's gonna be tough. You see the benefit of the IR cool. I mean, this dude is 7 miles away and I can see him no problem. If we had an AMRAAM right now, we could smoke this guy. This one.
Fuel low. Fuel low.
Actually closing in. I'm gonna do it. I want this. We're closing fast. He's going slow. Did he just get hit? Did he get hit or something? On him. I want to see if he hits the ground. I think he got hit by a missile. Yeah, he's going down. Oh yeah, he's good night. Man, guy took my kill. 1,400 pounds, 38 miles away, we gotta head back.
448.5 at 1,500 cold.
Thought I saw an afterburner behind us. Okay, TACAN goes right this way. don't think we're gonna have the fuel to do a go around, so we're going in hot.
Kutasi, forward 3, inbound.
Alright, we'll have 1,000 pounds by the time we get there.
Fly heading 107.426. QFE 29.92. Runway 07. Japan altitude.
That is an airport, but it's not our airport. Because we're 32 miles away. That sure ain't 32 miles. Alright, let's give her a little gas. Okay, maybe not. That's gonna bring us down to triple digits of fuel remaining. We might have to land right here, actually.
43, Overlord, 81, pop-up group, 311, 450, at 1,000, cold.
50. Oh, it's just this guy. How close is he? Okay. Over 40, so I'm not going to turn into him. Maybe it is Kutasi, actually. Oh yeah, there's the river. We're gonna make it.
450 at 500, cold.
We're gonna drop our altitude. While we're doing that, we're gonna go on safe mode, aim air to air off. We naturally picked up speed this way, so that's gonna help coast us in. I'm gonna go to idle. Actually going to deploy our speed brake, kill some of the speed. Because we just want to go straight in. We don't have the gas to play around. 1200 actually, that's not bad. In here our air brake is still out. We're going to do flaps down. Hold off on gear until we get real close. Drop the nose a little bit. Gear down. And that's going to kill our airspeed, so we're going to have to give it a little bit of power. Got a good angle going. Because ideally on a landing you want to have 3-degree angle of attack, which means you want that nose up a little bit. We're at about 4. Alright, just this is gonna be a landing, guys. Turn on our lights. 149, I'm gonna get a little more power. This actually ain't bad. This isn't bad at all. We're a little short, a little more power. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. There we go, come on. That wasn't bad. I actually expected that to go way worse. Saw me bobbing back and forth on the way in. Put our speed brake in. was not bad. We got to launch all our missiles. I thought I thought we were gonna have to come back home, do that walk of shame back with a full loadout. That worked out pretty well.
Fuel low.
I know the
Fuel
fuel's
low.
low. Okay, we're actually gonna turn off right here. No, we're going a little too fast. I will, however, start folding our wings. I'm not going to do nose wheel high yet because I don't want to turn too hard and tip us over after this triumphant return of ours. Alright, now we'll do nose wheel high because we're going nice and slow. You see that yellow line? That's our guide. We want to keep the nose wheel right down that middle line. Outstanding, guys. We kind of went by the seat of our pants on that one. Alright. So we don't technically have an assigned hangar because we don't even go here. So we're just going to park in front of one. If they don't like it, they can move us. Okay. So you see, when you're going too fast, it will not do that full turn for
Fuel
you.
low.
I know,
Fuel
buddy.
low.
So we're just gonna park in front of this hangar. Alright. Brake on. Let's start shutting her down. Well, that is a successful day 2, guys. Holy cow. Let's see what the time is right now. It's 2:19. I'm gonna go hit the rack. Alright, well, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.